Hi there, this is Dr. Wolfe here. This is a quick demonstration of how SQL injection works and the impacts of it in a web application. This is a follow-up to my prior tutorial you might have seen that discusses what SQL injection is. If you haven't seen that one or you're not sure, please check. I will tag it here in this video. So basically, this is just a quick little PHP page. It's going to be a form asking the user for some input. That input is then going to be taken and put to my database, and you'll see right here builds a inline SQL query, one of the most dangerous programming practices that leads to SQL injection. Going to execute that query, print the results back out on the screen, and that's all. So let's see what happens. So here's that web page that we were just looking at being run in my browser. And I'm going to search for an entry in my database for this person here, ansonlewis120@gmail.com. I'm going to hit submit. My results come back and it found this entry and it has a date submitted of 2023-01-03. So I found that result, no problem. Worked like I expected, no. But now let's see what happens when I use SQL injection. SQL injection here in my example, what I'm doing here is still searching for that value or any value. I'm using an apostrophe and then I'm adding more code after that apostrophe. So in this case, I'm saying or 1 equals 1. And basically what I'm doing is I'm interjecting my code into that SQL statement to get my code to operate the way I would like it to. So if I hit submit now, I end up disclosing all of the records in this data table, so information disclosure. So essentially, I've now proven that this web application is vulnerable to SQL injection. Now I can start trying to run a gamut of exploits that can be used maliciously against this web application. Now, I've captured all of the data, so maybe that's where I want to stop from an information theft perspective. Or perhaps I want to steal the data and delete all the data from the database table. So what I could do is something like, instead of or 1 equals 1, I might go forward and say, let's go further. Let's take this at the end of it. A semicolon ends the current line, and I do delete, and I say, let's say delete from user, perhaps. Maybe I'm guessing what the table name is. But this is what someone's going to do, or script kiddies are going to do against your web application. They're going to try to do something malicious. So information disclosure is the easiest thing you can do with SQL injection, but going farther, trying to execute other commands like delete from tables, drop from tables, all of that can be exposed here when you start being vulnerable to SQL injection. So I hope you get an idea of what it's all about. This is unintended behavior. So this is all because of bad programming, not using validation in cleansing, so input cleansing. I need to make sure that the users can't enter in characters like this, not allowing for long entries, and not parameterizing my code to the database and using strict data types and such. And this is not something you clean up on your client-side code in web development. Just keep that in mind. This has to be handled server-side. Client-side, your developers can always go ahead and go to more tools and go to developer tools, and they can manipulate, okay? They can manipulate your HTML in this form. So JavaScript and HTML is all available at the client level, so it can be manipulated. You may put in validation, you may put in HTML restrictions or JavaScript restrictions, but that can be overridden. So it's all about what you do in that original code file on the server side to ensure you're protecting against SQL injection. So please keep that in mind. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and please follow along or put some comments down below if should you have any. And also I hope you subscribe for future updates. Thanks.